Fireworks did get me up at 12:04 though. My poor dog was, what's going on? Yeah. How about you? How was yours? Because I still get up at 4 even on.
Oh, that's the nutty part. Hey, it is 10:30. This is the Richland County Board of Commissioners, and Happy New Year, Richland County. I am Daryl Banks, Commissioner, other commissioners, Tony Vero, Cliff Mears, Stacy Crawl, our clerk, Andrew Keller, our administrator, and Kelly Christensen, our HR. And in addition to the county officials, Carl Hunnell is here with the Richland Source. I assume no one's online. Okay, we have executive committee to go. I want to get a motion to go into executive committee to discuss discipline county employee.
So moved.
Second. Okay, and
Commissioner Banks?
yes,
Commissioner Vero?
yes.
Commissioner Mears?
And when we come back, we will go into our annual Board of Commissioners reorganization meeting. So. Okay. After meeting with our HR person, do we have any motions to be made?
Yes, I have two motions. The first motion would be to issue a 1-day suspension of a Dayspring employee for a third policy violation. And the next motion would be a 5-day suspension for a sixth tardy violation.
I'll second those motions.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we'll go right ahead with Board of Commissioners reorganization. And Cliff, maybe you can make a motion to appoint Tony as chairman.
We'll do that.
Guess I'll second that.
That's nice of you.
Get to do our musical chairs again.
No, I'm not moving. You can keep it
No?
centered. I'm not, I don't need to be in.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Okay, Tony, take it away.
All right, next up on the agenda then, I'll ask for a motion that we appoint a vice chairman. Anyone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion and I'll make the motion that we appoint Cliff Mears. Sure.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, well. Next up, we have our standard rules for governing meetings. I'll ask for a motion that we do so. Carl, if you don't want to read the rules again, or here for your.
I will make the motion that we approve the rules that we have governed under.
I will second.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right. Cliff, you did such a good job as the voting representative for CCAO. I will ask that we have a motion to appoint someone to be the official voting representative for CCAO.
I'll make a motion for Cliff to be the voting member.
Wait. I'm not, I'll second that because it's yourself. Second.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a quick question about that.
Yep.
On the spreadsheet for groups, there's a tab that says annual meeting voters, and it has our appointee well outdated.
Hold on. Where are we at here? I'm on the spreadsheet too here.
Look at the annual meeting voters tab.
What,
It has Marilyn as the CCAO appointee.
are you looking at the hard copy?
No,
Because where do you see Marilyn? I don't see Marilyn on the spreadsheet.
a separate tab down there.
Oh, that tab I just haven't messed with in forever.
Obviously.
Because I was looking for where our current appointee is.
That's CCAO. So I'm gonna change that to CCAO. Here we go. We'll do this. And then we'll update that. I'm sorry. So Cliff, I'll ask for motion, then we have Cliff and Daryl, you'll be the alternate.
We protest.
Then who do we have? Stacy, who's current for Corsa? Is it Cliff as well?
I don't remember doing Corsa.
I'm
I
thinking,
mean, we don't sit,
that didn't Kelly and Andrew, didn't you have?
Typically between Kelly and I and probably HR's liaison, we would manage.
So then let's do this. Let's do Kelly as the appointee, Andrew as alternate. And then for CCO Service Corps, obviously Josh as the appointee and Stacy as the alternate. And then we also need to do Sebco, so Kelly and Andrew on those,
Yes.
no,
you know?
Jenny?
Sepco.
Or I'm sorry, Rachel with Kelly as the alternate.
I think
Okay. I'll ask for those motions.
No move.
Second.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, Cliff and I currently serve as land bank reps for our office. We don't see much of a reason to change with Daryl and Stacy as alternates. Can I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Next up, we have our annual meeting training expenses letter. I We'll need to make an amendment. Stacy, if you look, you still have the year 2024,
Ah.
calendar year 2024. So I'll ask that we approve this for the calendar year of 2025.
So move.
Commissioner Barrow. Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, next up for reorg. We have our departments and points of contact. Anyone see any reason to change anything?
I don't.
Good with it.
I'm good with it.
Motion to approve as is.
So moved.
Daryl, you want a second?
Sure.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have all of our our appointments to boards in which we sit on or make appointments to. You need to note a couple things. So generally speaking, the board chair takes over some of those roles, which is natural in progression. I know Stacy has a hard copy with their names. The times and meeting times are obviously fluid with the spreadsheet that Stacy provided. Only thing I think we need to just change then would be the Board of Revision. The practice of this board, which makes sense because that's how we've done it, although it doesn't have to be, is that the chair is the appointee to the Board of Revision and the vice chair, which would be Cliff, would be the alternate. Somehow you ended up as the alternate, and I don't understand last time, but anyways, or no, I was, but any issues with keeping that practice with the board chair sitting on the board?
Not a bit.
Mhm.
That's the way to do it this year. We could change it next year, but
Yeah, I mean, that's just been the practice, makes sense, even. And I'm on the records committee, but it says board chair. Who doesn't love records commission? So, I mean, Daryl, unless you wanna.
no, I'm happy to give that one up.
So I'll ask that we make a motion to approve,
And I'll second.
and I'll ask for a motion. You making that motion?
I thought you made the
I
motion.
said I'll ask for a
Oh,
motion.
I'll make the motion then.
Okay.
And I'll second it.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, now we're moving into our regular part of the agenda. We have two resolutions here as part of the American Rescue Plan Act guidelines. There's a resolution for micro purchase threshold and simplified acquisition threshold. These are standard. I'll ask for that motion. Carl, if you have any questions, you can direct them to the ARPA guru, but there isn't anything noteworthy, I would say. So I'll ask for those motions to approve both resolutions.
So moved.
Second.
Barrow.
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have a quote from Corson to replace a 4-inch piping and valve that it says failed to hold. I presume it said failed to hold in their quote. This is out at Peoples for $2,551.24. I'll ask that we have a motion to approve that.
I have a question about that. I think it's for Stacy. The convenience fee of 3%. We don't pay that. Do we pay that on credit card? Do we pay the 3%?
Oh, no, we're not. It won't be a credit card. It'll be a check.
Okay, so we don't have to.
Right.
So moved.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Sorry, Daryl. Is that a yes for you, Daryl?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, last but not least, we have to Andrew, do we have to appoint the Region 9 rep annually?
That we've set it up for good reason. Assess it and also, maybe the natural.
Okay. So this is part of the group that reviews and makes recommendations on the distribution of the opioid monies. Our region is 19. We have a rep to that region. current rep is Laura Montgomery, who's doing an excellent job. And so I would ask for a motion that we appoint or reappoint Ms. Montgomery to remain on the Region 19 board.
I will make that motion.
I'll second. Okay, I'll second that.
Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Okay.
One question.
Yes, sir.
Board of Health Advisory Committee. There's chairman. Changing that, right? You're instead of me.
No, I'm the point of contact, but the District Advisory Council is the group that helps pick who sits on the health board, and the chair has historically been on the District Advisory Council.
Yes, so you would be.
Yes, yeah, I'll be on the council.
Yeah, that's what I. Be clear.
I'm the point of contact, like if they have any questions, but the District Advisory Council is the chair. Yep.
Okay.
Carl?
Couple things haven't been touched on, so I'll ask them about the new year. I'm not gonna talk about already approved construction efforts. We've about that for now. That's all gonna take place, hopefully seamlessly, but broadband. What's news with the US 30 corridor plan and also the Northern Richland County project?
Andrew and I have sought assurances from Spectrum Communications that the $2 million county commitment to the broadband expansion will be done by December of 2026. They have put in writing that the work will be done. So that answers the broadband expansion as part of ARPA. The Route 30 project is still moving forward with the hope that it will be in the governor and lieutenant governor's budget. We have gathered the necessary letters of support, and it is our plan to personally meet with the lieutenant governor and the director of development, Mihalik, sometime in January to formally request that either all or a portion of the project be put in the governor's budget.
The budget, biennial budget. Is it the one they're gonna pass later this year, or?
It would be in the state's budget in the middle of the year, remember, mid-cycle, they do it. But then the feds are in the fall, and then we're on a calendar year, so you have 3 different budget cycles.
But it would be in the 25.
Yes. July 1 of 2025. Depending upon the budget process,
Say in the government, how much you asking?
20 million. Now, we don't. You think that's? I don't want to say this, Carl. It might be a little much. We want to make sure the entire project is funded, so we're asking for 20 million so that it is covered from east to west. We hope it would be cheaper than 20 million.
That refresh my memory. That is from east to west as far as
The whole state along Route 30, east to west.
that be capital budget or would that be something?
No, we're asking it to be in his general fund budget. Or his report. Well, let me rephrase that, Carl. If they have another pot of money that could fund the project, certainly not gonna say no. So I want to be careful how I phrase that.
Back to the Northern Richland County 2 million. They say, or you've gotten a letter or guarantee done by the end of 2023. In the letter, do they say what the status of it is and what the home has been?
Let me rephrase. Did they send us a letter saying we guarantee? No, but there's a writing. I'll read you the exact email here. Andrew and I have been monitoring that. Okay, so here's an email from Ashley Carlin to Andrew Keller on November 27th. I just heard back from our regional vice president of field operations who's overseeing the build in Richland County. I am able to confirm that the build in Richland County will be complete at 12/31/26.
Big scope, it's 748 addresses mainly.
Any other? How far we got? They actually hooked up anybody out of the 748.
Tell you this, Carl, we have not been billed yet. Anything from charter, and the structure of the contract is such that after specified number of connections or receivable. Connection. Pulled up originally with the power pole permits.
Overcome those and it's smooth sailing now, or they're running others?
I'm not sure it's smooth sailing, but I think they've overcome them enough to say that they will be complete in Richland County by December 31st of 2026.
Is there a date between now and December 31st, 2026? Is there anything you guys can do about it at this point? You can't reappropriate that money, can you? Let's say they contact you in a year and say, you know what, we're not gonna get it. We're not gonna tap into that 2 million.
We are confident the project will be complete by December of 2026.
I'm just asking what ifs here. I mean, this is new stuff, ARPA not being done. What happened?
So let me take a couple steps back.
Please.
In the event that they are unable to complete the project by December of 2026, we will review with our legal team and Spectrum and address accordingly. But we haven't seen anything yet that would indicate that they won't complete the work by December of 2026. So much so that they gave us assurances in writing that would be complete by December of 2026.
Okay. What if it's not done by December of 2026? I mean, is this something where Andrew, you're the ARPA expert, what do you do with that money that's sitting in the bank waiting to allocate to them?
We have to rely on the contractual promises of our vendors and contractors. It's problematic if we have a breach from any of our contractors for our ARPA projects. We're now past the obligation deadline. I'm not ruling out that there wouldn't be alternatives, but at this point, the federal rules are pretty strict on reallocation, so options are limited if any of our contractors.
That's also true. There could be changes in the regulations and they could give extensions. I mean, there's a lot of variables, but
If the county, and I'm not specifying charter right now, but if the county were to fall victim of a breach of contract, any of our contractors on our ARPA contracts, we certainly would have a good faith basis for reallocation, but we would still have to satisfy federal government requirements, which are strict in that area.
as of now,
What about goals for you guys individually or as a board beyond what you've already approved in terms of construction effort? What else would you like to see happen in Richland County in 2025?
Well, I'll start. There's a number of initiatives that I'm looking forward to in 2025. We've got the Marks conversion for the tornado sirens. I think that's important for the residents of the county. But we've got an awful lot of things that are going to happen or we're planning on happening with the Park District because of the passage of the levy by the voters last November. We've got improvements to the Fleming Falls Nature Preserve. We've got that property down in Belleville by the Unstoppables. Is that the name of the group?
Yes.
So that's coming up. We're working on that. I think that's pretty exciting stuff.
Well, while we're down at the Unstoppables, talking about the wilderness there and making it into a part of the park system, and there would be boardwalks through that swamp so that people that use the Unstoppables would also have that park being able to go into an environment that is very, very rare in all of America. opportunity to have that, and we've got it right here. And I'm also excited about Fleming Falls. As a child going there as Camp Moana, it's exciting to see what's happening there with Cliff on that. But also moving forward, we're with the YMCA. Of course, that's not a county project, but we're looking forward to that being fulfilled. And Sturkle Park, that's a city park, but we've participated in that. And that's an exciting thing that people with challenges to be able to use the recreational things at the park. And we want to, it's a little, we had a good year last year, but we're never sure how next year is going to be. And keeping our promise to have a balanced budget and moving forward with that is important to me.
I'll look at this individually and collectively, right? We all have certain areas that we're points of contact with or something that we're individually working on. Big focus of my 2025 individually will be that Route 30 broadband project. Something we'd like to see done, and whether it's in this next state budget cycle or if we can get the funding outside of the budget cycle. But that project will certainly remain an individual priority of mine. My fellow commissioners are certainly welcome to correct me by saying this, but I think collectively we have a substantial amount of capital improvement projects that I would say, obviously that you wrote about that are internal to this building, a new courtroom, new land bank office, a complete redesign of this building. We also have substantial infrastructure projects that are considered county projects that are not internal to this building. One, you already mentioned the broadband, but the wastewater investment in Belleville, which will again accommodate the soccer complex. I know they sent a letter saying it's been delayed a little bit, but that certainly is very promising. And again, while this doesn't sound all that exciting, one would say the primary role of a commissioner is to oversee the budget. And we are extremely happy to say that we have passed a balanced budget every year. This board in Maryland have been in office, and we had what we believe to be a good fiscal year in 2024 when it comes to revenues over expenses. But it is tenuous. I was looking this morning, and again, sales tax, which is the overwhelming driver of county revenue, looks like we're going to be about 1.75% better in 2025 than 2024. That's good. The bad, there are two negatives in my mind. One, it's the second year in a row. You would say we're not keeping up with inflation. And you could even say the third year in a row, really, if you count 2022 at 5% better. But last year we were 1.76% better, and this year we appear to be 1.75% better. So certainly our sales tax revenues, and that's not uncommon across the state of Ohio, are not keeping up with inflation. Also, in the last 19 months, dating back to June of 2023, 11 of those months have been worse from a year-to-date performance standpoint. Now, we were better overall, but that says to me we now have about a year and a half trend where sales tax at least is not keeping up with inflation. And while we've had good financial performances, it's something to monitor moving forward.
I wasn't here on Tuesday. Have you guys had the meeting yet where you finalized the books and how much money you're going to spend, put into capital, how much money?
I have all that. If you want
Okay.
to, if we can go into my office. I have all that.
That didn't come on Tuesday.
No problem. Yeah, we did all that, and I can help you with that.
Carl, going along with that, one of the things that we also are concerned about is our interest rate earned on interest this year was probably, I'm sure, a record. And we look for that to fail a little bit. And I was out this past weekend and people said, "Hey, we've seen how good you did. Why don't you lower the property tax?" And people should know that of our budget, only 4.6%, I believe it is.
I've yet to see the final. I'll have an idea.
It's under 5%, but I think it's between 4.3 and 4.6, I think.
Might be a little more this year, but it certainly won't be, interest will certainly outpace real estate.
So we get very little of the property tax compared to other entities in the county.
Now we're for 2025, Carl. We still anticipate a good year in interest. We have, if you recall, we had those questions with Art. But that is something to concern because it's now our number 2 revenue earner, at least it was, interest. And so, that's certainly contributed to our positive, financial years in light of a sales tax that isn't keeping up with inflation. We have 3.8 million in the budget as projected revenue, which is still very good. But Daryl's right. That's something to monitor.
Not very often you can say that again.
Well, you gotta be right more often than.
Right ahead, guys.
And Carl, I would be remiss, didn't say that next month we're supposed to be breaking ground on the bike trail. We may be breaking frozen ground
Central Connector,
on the bike trail connector, right? Yeah, right to the tunnel.
Darrell Banks.
Hey, no.
Yeah, it is. I do not take credit. That's an awesome tunnel. What are you talking about? Obviously, that'd be sweet. That's a great tunnel, man.
It is.
I probably had more complaints about that money being spent than anything.
Really? That's a great thing. All right, at 11:02, we will adjourn.